Hey everybody, I'm Flying Scorpion, and this is Lost Ark. It's a free-to-play MMORPG. It's a third-person isometric camera from a top-down perspective, and it's a fantasy medieval hack and slash, one versus many. You are the chosen one saving the world against an evil demonic threat, light versus darkness kind of thing. So a lot of stuff that we've seen before in a lot of games already. It's got a lot of things you expect from many other MMORPGs like Black Desert Online or World of Warcraft or Guild Wars. It's also got some stuff that you may have seen from Diablo series or Path of Exile or other Diablo clones. I got into it because somebody private messaged me on Steam and said, hey, check this out, Lost Ark. And by the way, if you have me on Steam, I do appreciate when people make game recommendations to me. And I looked at some videos. The combat looked pretty good. It looked like Diablo. I heard that it was an MMO. A Diablo MMO sounded cool to me. That is not like an entirely accurate way to describe the game, but if I was to summarize what it looks like in a nutshell, it looks like Diablo the MMO, if I was to summarize it. That's what it looked like to me. So right now the game is it's just been released like, I don't know, just over 24 hours ago. People who paid founders packs get a 3-day head start before the free-to-play players. So in I think tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, the game will be available to play for free-to-play players. And I think this is actually a really smart way to do the launch. It separates the players a little bit. It spreads out the load. So you're not getting like everybody all at once at the exact same time setting the servers on fire and having this like, you know, ridiculous long wait time to get in. People are still waiting a while to get in. This is normal and expected for the launch of a game like this. It's had a lot of people following it for years, from my understanding. The game was released already several years ago in Korea. That's where it was first released from my Googling. And then a Russian server was released, or Russian servers were released. From what I read on Wikipedia, the game cost $85 million to develop. I don't know how true that is, but that's a big number. And yesterday on Steam, there was like 600,000 concurrent players. So there's a lot of people playing it. There was like over 1 million people watching it on Twitch. So this is a very popular game right now. And I think that it's doing much better than a lot of other games that were hyped up. And I think that the reason it's doing better than other games that were hyped up in recent years on its release is because it's already been out for a couple years in Korea, and they've had time to work out the problems that they would have and plan and prepare and just be more prepared and have a more polished product when releasing it to North America. That seems to be the biggest difficulty for a lot of game studios right now, is they release their game and they just are not fully prepared, and the game is not fully polished and ready for such a huge audience, and then like tons of problems crop up, and it just like it spoils the initial experience, and it also can lead to a bad reputation for the game, which is really unfortunate because there's been some amazing games that have been released that just had just a bad reaction from players when they first came out, and it just killed the longevity of it. I don't think that's going to happen with this game. Yeah, so we'll see. One of the things that people talk about a lot that I've seen on the discussions is the game pay to win. There's a clip of this guy. I don't know who he is. He's some important guy for this game being asked that question. Maybe I'll play it now.
What can you say to new players who might think that Lost Ark is pay to win?
Pay to win.
Lost Ark is a completely free-to-play game.
이게 이 프리투플레이 게임의 이제 안 좋게 보시는 부분들이 뭐냐면
In ordinary free-to-play, there's a structure that you come in without purchase to play the game. Then the obstacles come up for players and push them to spend dollars in order to advance or progress, right?
로스트아크도 물론 이제
Even in Lost Ark, yeah, there may be moments where, you know, it may be required or it may be useful to advance, but we don't provide or design obstacles so that you cannot go further if you don't purchase, spend dollars.
물론 근데 약간 수직적인 성장을 빨리 해야 될 경우에는 과금의 부담이 좀 심해지는 부분들이 있긴 합니다.
Well, for those who prefer that vertical content and just want to quickly advance in the game, then yes, funds would be useful in that sense. And if I may, I would love to share an expert tip on how to best enjoy the game.
Please.
아, 이쪽인가요? Don't go too fast. Just take your time. 네.
Perfect. So take your time when you jump in. I will definitely follow that advice myself. I don't like to rush to the end game.
Long story short, if you're paying for anything, it's paying for vertical progression of the game. Does that mean the game's pay to win? I don't know. I mean, you could say that it is. I would say it's not really that big of a deal, especially considering that the game cost $85 million to build, according to Wikipedia. Who knows how much more or less. And so far, if the people who are playing the game have paid to get access to the game, anywhere between like $15 to $50 or $100, I don't know how much, what the top end is on the brackets of the Founders Packs. If you had about 500, 600,000 concurrent players on Steam yesterday, then let's say there was like maybe 750,000 to 1 million players so far that have purchased access to the game early, Founders Packs. A lot of them might be working, or they just weren't online at the exact same time, for example. And if on average they spent like, let's say $20 on the game, then maybe they made about $20 million so far, which is a fraction of 85 million. So I think that they'll do well, though. They wouldn't be expanding to North America if the game hadn't succeeded already in North Korea, or sorry, not North Korea, in Korea and Russia. So yeah. So what do I think of the game, though? Is the game fun? Yeah, it's a fun game. I think, though, the thing for me, though, is that I have played so many games that nothing really seems new to me. Playing through this game, I'm like, this very much feels like an MMORPG, like many MMORPGs that I played before. A lot of fetch quests. They've streamlined the process. They've obviously made improvements to the formula. But basically, you know, you go to a little hub, you pick up 2 or 3 quests, there's like some dialogue options. It eventually gets to the point where it becomes forgettable and you start clicking through the dialogue because it's not really worth reading anymore, because it's all the same. It's basically go here, fetch an item, kill a few enemies over there, interact with something, and then go to the next hub or come back to this hub. So you'll go, you'll do the thing, you'll click on some flowers, you'll kill a few monsters, you'll pick up an item or something like that. You'll go to the next little town or area, and then you'll hand in your quests, you'll get your experience and some loot, and then you move on to the next one. They'll give you a key to a dungeon. You go to the dungeon, you fight with some other players, you defeat a boss, you get a little cutscene that progresses the story, and then you move on to the next area. Add, repeat. So that's the basic formula for progressing through the game. And the storyline, like I said, it's very similar to other storylines. You're the chosen one, good versus evil, saving the world, kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It seems good. I mean, for a free-to-play game, I would say it's for how well polished the game seems to be. I think that it's worth it if you're looking for an MMORPG. There's a lot of opportunity to find people to socialize with and to team up with and take on content together. So overall, I would say it is a good game. I don't know how long I will stick with it, but it was enjoyable nonetheless for the 8 hours, I think, that I've spent playing the game so far. But that's it. That's my little first impressions video on a not Black Desert Online, on Lost Ark. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.